The third London attacker has been named as Youssef Zagba, a 22-year-old Moroccan-Italian. And it transpires he was able to enter the UK despite being placed on an EU-wide watch list after being stopped at Bologna Airport in Italy in 2016. Officers there found materials related to so-called Islamic State on his mobile phone. So, SHOULD and APOS being on a system sharing details of potential suspects have automatically alerted the UK authorities. And one unconfirmed report suggests that did happen, apparently when Zagba arrived at Stansted Airport in January, but that border staff still let him in. Says BBC Home Affairs correspondent Danny Shaw. The Home Office HASN and APOS yet commented, so far, 4 of the 7 people killed in SATURDAY and APOS attack have been named. The family of 28-year-old Australian nurse Kirsty Bowden called her outgoing, kind and generous a French national who died is understood to have been Alexander Piguard, 27. It and APOS the last day of campaigning before the general election, and Prime Minister Theresa May has said she will change human rights laws if they get in the way of anti-terror work. But Labour said this was not the message, that we should be SENDING and the Liberal Democrats accused the PM of starting of nuclear arms RACE in terror laws. Meanwhile, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn says there are 24 hours to save the NHS and Mrs May is promising Brexit will lead to more jobs and homes and better transport links. Labour has immediately cried foul, claiming another manifesto U-turn at almost the last minute of the campaign. Tory sources deny that flatly, saying they would not pull out of the European Convention on Human Rights but instead seek fresh derogations, essentially legal opt-outs. Get news from the BBC in your inbox. Each weekday morning several Gulf states have cut diplomatic links with Qatar, accused of supporting radical Islamism, and US President Donald Trump has backed them, urging unity in the region to fight extremist ideology and terrorist financing. The comments were made during a phone call to King Salman of Saudi Arabia, a US official said. Qatar denies the allegations. The taxi app firm Uber has fired 20 staff and is taking action against others as it investigates allegations of sexual harassment, bullying and other issues about poor company culture. The whole inquiry follows a former employee writing a scathing blog post about her experiences. Several newspapers feature a photograph of the third London attacker, Youssef Zagba, on their front pages. The Times leads on the revelation that MI5 was made aware he had been arrested last year on his way to Syria, while the Mirror says THERE and APOS and FURY and that he was able to enter the UK. The Guardian and Metro lead on Theresa May and APOS comments on anti-terror laws. And APOS PROTECTION and APOS. Mother calls for boys to get anti-cancer jab BOYFRIV and APOS suicide woman on trial for manslaughter after urging Conrad Roy III to kill himself. Nazi gestures to England fans banned for life from the supporters travel club and therefore attending away games. Definitely not cuddly T-Rex head scales, not feathers or fluff, say scientists. What does it take to get bands on tour? 12 o'clock. More than 2,000 people will attend Westminster Abbey for a final farewell to comedian Ronnie Corbett, who died last year, aged 85. 13:45 The new CHILDREN and APOS laureate is announced in a ceremony at Hull City Hall. Today Andy Murray plays JAPAN and APOS Kei Nishikori in the 7th French Open quarter-final of his career. 1977 More than 1 million people line the streets of London to watch the royal family on their way to St Paul and APOS Cathedral at the start of the Queen and APOS Silver Jubilee celebrations. Getting used to life after leaving a war zone, The Atlantic, the revitalized Spanish village officials want to demolish, Guardian.